What's up out there? We are back with some more Path of Exile, and today I want to talk about my Righteous Fire build. So I hit a bit of a brick wall, went off and did some more SRS work on that character over there, and then I've kind of been going back and forth between the two characters. So let's look at where things are today. In the last video that I talked about Righteous Fire, which was a couple videos ago, I talked about working up my Flasks, and I had some things incorrect in there. I was kind of going by what I thought I needed to go by. I actually sat down and read Pox's POB. I read the FAQ on the wiki page. I spent some more time just reading into how the build was supposed to go and absorbed a lot more. And I now have all of the flasks set the way they're supposed to be. First and foremost, I was missing some of the flasks, like I didn't have the granite flask. I had a unique one, but I didn't have this one. So a regular one. So what I've done is you take these, I don't have any more, I've burned them all out, but you take, I think they're the enkindling orbs, not the enkindling, whatever that one over here is, instilling, I think it's instilling orbs. I keep running low on them. So basically what you do is you take those and you roll this until it says use when charges reach full. The other thing you want to do is roll this thing, roll a transmutation on these so that they're magical, and then keep rolling the orbs of alteration until you gain one charge when you're hit by an enemy. So you want it to gain one charge when you're hit by an enemy, or gain 1, 2, 3. I think there's tops of 3. And then use when charges reach full. You can also use when an adjacent flask is being used. I think that's what I've got mine set up for. So pretty much I have charge reach full, adjacent flask, and then charge reach full. And then all of these have either gain 1 or 2 charges when hit by an enemy. So pretty much with Righteous Fire, you're going to be standing in the middle of a bunch of enemies. They're going to be hitting you constantly. You want this stuff up all the time. So what you want is the Granite Flask, which gives you extra armor. Now this one also immunity to freeze and chill, whatever. It doesn't really make a whole lot of difference, I don't think, because I think I've got that covered in some other way. But I have an Amethyst Flask, which gives plus 35 Chaos Res, and then a Ruby Flask, which gives plus 50 Fire Res and 20% less fire damage taken. And then the movement's 40% movement speed from the Quicksilver. So these go off when charges reach full, basically. So pretty much they're automated. You don't really have to do anything. Now, I was thinking about getting rid of this Health Flask, but I do run into times where I need it, so I've kind of hung on to that. Now, that was after that a couple videos ago, I got done with all that. Since then, I think I found this immortal flesh at some point. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in a video, and I threw it in my bank in there, and I said, well, I couldn't really work it in. So I've made a lot of changes to this build. First and foremost, let me just, let's see here. If I go to uniques and belts, I did find, oddly enough, another immortal flesh. So I've got another one. This one's a little worse than the one I have equipped. So I checked it before I switched it out, and then I didn't bother. What else did I find? I got another really cool drop the other day. Where is that thing? Or did I leave it in crafting? So I've got a Dawnbreaker. I'm pretty sure I can use that on this build, I think, but I got to figure out how to work it in, because if I put it in, I lose a whole ton of resistances. So I don't know if I want to work this thing in or not, but I got that. And then the big one, I got a Brass Dome. These two drops happened. I was like, hell yeah. And I actually got this thing socketed. I got it 5-socketed, or 6-socketed, I should say, 6 linked, and all this very easily. I got all the colors. Basically, this is the same colors as what my other armor had, which I think was this armor here. And it laid out exactly the same way, so I just put all my stuff in there. I got that thing done. I think I built this scepter since then, so I've worked up a whole new scepter. This has got 40% increased elemental damage. Unfortunately, it's got 9% lightning resist. Well, I'm sorry, it's got 9% lightning resistance. I went through a lot of different scepters to get this done, but this one had 9% lightning res, so that made it very workable. I had some others with some other issues with it. So this had lightning res as a suffix. Some of the other scepters, I'd been collecting a bunch of scepters, and what I didn't realize is the scepters I was collecting, any of the fractured ones, they all had prefixes, and what I needed was stuff on the prefix. So I ended up getting rid of all those and then working this one up. So I get a little bit of lightning res out of it, but this one has 94% increased fire damage. I was trying to go for +1 gems or +2 gems or whatever, but this came in at 94% increased fire damage, and it was better than the previous wand that I had, so I stuck with this one. Now it's got some increased stun duration, which doesn't matter. I did put 19% fire damage over time multiplier on here, and let's see, I think I either found or worked this helmet out, and this one's got +2 level of socketed AoE gems. I'm pretty sure I found this one. So this one's got, what are we using here? Fire Trap, which is AoE. And then I thought there was something else that was, guess it's not AoE, but that's the only one. So this one gives +2 levels to the socketed AoE gem, so that's pretty cool. And what else did we get here? I thought I switched something else out, but maybe not. I might have switched this shield, I can't remember. But anyway, I found this Immortal Flesh, I found the Brass Dome, I've got all that stuff equipped. If I can work this other shield in here, this Dawnbreaker, that thing will be cool, but like I said, I take way too big a hit for my resistances and stuff. So, this has been huge. This fixed a lot of problems that I had, and what I'm working on now, or what I'm working with now, is, I thought this was up to about 160,000 Righteous Fire. Sometimes, you know, it changes depending on whether you've recently done combat or not. 151 is where I'm at. I think I was, I don't know, 140 at some point. I'm doing fairly well with that. We've got over 100% res for everything except chaos. I am up to 61,000 armor, so that's huge. That is helping a lot. And with all of this in place, I now have a Void Stone. So I went in and fought the Searing Exarch and downed him. I died once on those balls, the rolling balls. I ended up dying on those. But I've downed the Searing Exarch, and that was where I was running into a lot of problems. I fought the Searing Exarch and I fought the Eater of Worlds, and I just kept dying. I could not get through them for anything. And I finally beat one of them at least. I still can't really do the Eater yet. He's still a little too difficult. But I got through all of those. And let's see. I made some gem changes in here. Like, I had an extra gem for some reason. I got 2 extra spots, so I need to go figure out why I have 2 spots. Oh, I know one spot was somewhere in here. Where did I get that? I got Malevolence on something. Yeah. So I got this amulet that grants level 23 Malevolence skill. So I tossed this on. I was able to get rid of 1 or 2 of those gems. And I had another weird gem in here for some reason. I don't know where it came from. I've socketed something in there probably to level it up or something, and then just never took it out. So I got rid of that. So I've got a couple of free spaces in here I don't know what to do with yet, but more to, you know, we'll determine all that. The other thing I did is I came over here into the Pantheon and I did something with Chaos. I guess I went and got this Armala, captured Armala the Widow for this. So that takes care of 40% Chaos resistance against damage over time. And I probably need to, I don't know, work on something else with that. So I've done that. And then I'm still waiting on these 2 maps. I still haven't got those yet, but I did go through it and make more changes to my Atlas tree. Now, I'm pretty sure I've tried making this video a couple of times and I get sidetracked very easily, and I wasn't happy with the video, so that's why I've kind of pushed it off. But I have made some significant changes to my Atlas tree again. At one point, I'm pretty sure it was in the last video I did for Righteous Fire, I talked about doing Delirium. Well, Delirium kind of sucked and I wasn't getting what I wanted out of it. I think I was doing Delirium to get Scarabs, and I was doing Heist, or not Heist, the Betrayal stuff for Unveils. So if I come over here,
I cannot do this yet.
I now have a lot of stuff unveiled. I only have a little bit left to go. So like some boots, gloves, a lot of flasks. Like, I don't ever get any flasks when I do unveiling. I'm probably not fighting the right monsters for it, but I've got almost all of this stuff unlocked, so I'm happy there. But the Delirium stuff just wasn't working. It wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. I wasn't getting into enough of whatever it does. Like, it was barely popping up on the maps. So I called an audible and I'm like, you know what? I just need to purge all that out and get rid of it. So I'd actually got rid of all that, and I took out the Searing Exarch, and I went into Synthesis. I went into the Shaper and Elder, Conquerors, and Eater of Worlds. I actually went too far and I grabbed these big nodes up here. Come to find out, those are the Uber versions. I didn't realize that's what level 85 meant, was that it meant Uber version. I expected to see something that said Uber, and it didn't. So I fought Eater on the Uber version, and I got my ass kicked. So I backed all those out once I figured out what they were. And, you know, I took all of the Delirium out to get this, and I had a little bit of stubs into some things here and there that I cleaned up earlier today. I decided to go back into the Planner Technician, so get more scouting reports and stuff like that. So I came back down this way. I actually took off the synthesis that I had, and I came up into here for shaping the world. I finished out this little circle into here and came off this way here and got all this stuff for the scouting reports. I watched somebody's video. They were talking about trying to keep getting maps and stuff like that, trying to keep getting better maps and everything. So I wanted to get into this. Number one, I'm trying to still finish off these other two over here. But number two, getting more maps gives you more stuff. Like I started figuring out how to do or why you would do the favoriting stuff. So I favorited some alleyways maps, frozen cabins, and waterways, because those have, like alleyways, I've had good luck getting scouting reports off of and getting map drops. And I can't remember why I was doing frozen cabins and waterways. I think there were some divination cards I was looking for on those. So I'm trying to push getting those, and that's why I selected these here. I just got this void stone, so I really don't know what it all does. I'm still kind of learning that. I was reading a little bit about it. It said eventually once you get all four of these, all your maps become tier 16 or something like that. To be determined. I don't know what that all means exactly yet, but that's what I've been working on. And I've got a little bit, whatever this Searing Exarch progress is, I've got a little bit into that. And whatever this Maven progress is, I have a little bit into that. So that is kind of where we are. Oh, that's the other thing. On here, where was that at? I was missing elemental weakness here. I was actually missing this. Apparently this stacks with the flammability, and I didn't even have this on, so I actually added that on. So I now have that here, so that helps out a little bit too. And the other thing I was doing is on the syndicate stuff. So I actually ran, I can show investigation. I've actually ran this top safe house. I've ran it 3 times now. I've beaten it twice, so this will be the 3rd time. And then I've got these 2 to run here. Let's go ahead and run one of these real quick. It's a little bit loud. Let's turn that down. And we can just blaze through here real fast. I haven't really been getting a whole lot of stuff from here. I'm trying to level up. You notice I actually have some levels in here, and I keep dying. Like I keep dying hard, and even doing like easier delve content and stuff, I'm still just not like super easy, but like I'm doing 82, 83 content, 82 I think it is. So I backed off to like 81 or 80, level 80, and I'm still dying more than I care to. So that's why I thought, all right, I need to really back off on my content a little bit and try to just stay alive. So I'd like to level up, in the effort of trying to keep getting better and try to, beat the Eater of Worlds and stuff like that. Where'd this guy go? So I'm doing everything I can to level up. Why are we locked? Oh, I didn't talk to him yet. So I've not actually been working on this as far as, I know you can manipulate this and try to get people moved around and into certain places and get certain items and things like that. I have not been messing with that. What I've been doing is just basically getting the unveils. I need to actually sit down and work on what I can get from them, seeing what I can get, what stuff I can get. Because there is a lot of things, I think there's a lot of things you can get from them. And it seems like it might depend on who I kill for that boss fight as to what loot I get in here. Like I just got a couple of scarabs or whatever, but at one point I was getting, what did I get? Crafting. Like I could do bench crafting. Oh, I forgot about that. So This flask has 24%. This flask has 24% quality. This one's got 26%. Those all came from the Syndicate stuff. It actually had a bench craft for just qualitying the flasks up specifically. So I grabbed that and used it. And what else did I get? I found a way of working on armor and stuff like that. Like they'll have a crafting bench. What did I throw in there? I think I got rid of it because I broke it. But I had a piece of armor I threw in there. I don't know which one's which now. This might be the one I just got rid of. Oh, I worked this one up and then I found that. So here's kind of getting sidetracked here. I was using this armor here, this Coliseum plate. Then I switched over to this Majestic plate. This one I actually crafted up myself. And then I ended up finding the brass dome. So as soon as I got this thing, I ended up finding that. But this piece of armor here, I actually took into one of the Syndicate things where I was kind of going with that whole deal. Is I took one of these, what is this? Glorious plate or whatever it is. I took one of these into that Syndicate thing. You get like 20 or 30 seconds to craft up something real fast. And I'm still not quite sure what I'm doing with that because it happens so quickly. I don't get much time to tinker with it. But I ended up crafting up one of those and corrupting it and breaking it, and I started over. But I found some really cool things. Basically what I'm saying is I found some really cool stuff in the Syndicate thing. Once you beat those guys and get the safe houses and go in there, you get some really cool stuff if you get crafting options. And I've had some other stuff that I can't remember. I could add something to one of these. Oh, I got sockets. I did some re-socketing on this thing. I actually put a white socket on here. What I need to do, I was curious what it did because I didn't know if it was going to take some other stuff away. It said it would put one or two white sockets on or something like that. I need to do that to this here because I need 3 blues. And if I can get a blue to land in any of these, that would be great. Or I'm sorry, a white to land in any of these or a blue. So I found out I could get that from Syndicate, so I've been running a lot of Syndicate where I can, and I've been running a lot of Delve. That's how I got that brass dome, and I've just been having a good time. So the SRS break was good. It was good to just stop on that for a little bit and come back over to here, and the Syndicate stuff has been doing me a real solid, and so is Delve. So I'm glad I went into those. Like I said, the Delirium thing just didn't do what I wanted. Like I was hardly ever getting it. It wasn't getting anywhere compared to like Delve and Syndicate, and I had all the Delirium stuff selected on the Atlas tree, but I just wasn't seeing it very much. And Delve, in the Syndicate, I can see both of them fairly well. Of course, the option is that I can select both of these here, and there's Scarabs, you know what I mean? There are like so many other options of getting it, and Delirium just seemed kind of short. I feel like I get Delirium more now that I don't have it selected than I did when I had it selected in the Atlas tree. So anyway, that is where we are with Righteous Fire. I am doing well. I'm going to try to level up without dying. I was doing Delve earlier today and I died and I got pissed off and I quit and came back to film this. So I want to level up at least one more time. I want to get, I don't know what I'm going to put my point into or what I'm going to do with it because it's pretty much, I think the tree is where I need it to be. The passive tree is where it needed to be, but I want to at least try to get another level out, try to do something else with it and see what else we can do. Obviously, I need more life and stuff. I think I had over 4,000 life, but some of the stuff that I've swapped out reduced my life a little bit. So, I don't know. I need to work on that. I need to probably work up rings and amulets for resistances and that kind of thing. Maybe some life or some life regen or whatever. Because I know that one helmet I had a ton of life regen in it. But anyway, I'm very pleased with this. I got the Searing Exarch down, and that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.